Join me as we draft and sew this lovely danshiki gown with Ashoké. I'm going ahead to take the length of the fabric, and of course I've divided the fabric into four. The length is depending on your preference. I've gone ahead to take the shoulder measurement, which is 18 inches. All right. And then I came down by 14 inches. As you can see, I've drawn the line. That place you're seeing the armhole area, I took 2 inches. Now 18 inches minus 2 inches is 16. I drew 16 inches down. Then when you get to the hem, you subtract 1 inch to make it 15 inches. Now the neckline, I'm taking 5 inches. It depends on your preference, please. The back neckline is going to be 1 inch. So now we're having 5 by 1. Then the front neckline, we are going to be having 6 inches. You can take 7 depending on your preference. So now this is the front neckline, is in a V form. Then I'll take my shoulder slope and draw it like so. Now for the back neckline, it's the same 5 inches but 1 inch. Okay, like I said, you could do it to your preference. So I'll use my French curve to curve it like so. After which I am going to be cutting out. Now you can separate it before cutting so that you don't make mistake. You don't cut the front neckline and the back neckline together. You just have to be observant, okay? So I've gone ahead to cut my shoulder slope. I'll go ahead. You see I raised it up. You have to be very careful. I've cut the front neckline. I'll go ahead and cut for the back as well. If you have any questions, kindly leave it in the comment section. So I'll separate the front from the back. I'll go ahead and cut the facing. I'll go ahead and cut the facing for the back. It's not much of a task, just placing the neckline on a new fabric, then tracing it out. So I've done that. For the front, we are going to be using the Ashoké to cut the facing, to turn the neckline, all right? Now the Ashoké, it's not wide enough to cover this, so we're going to be joining the Ashokes together to form the facing for the front. As you can see, it's not wide enough, so I'm going to be cutting it. Okay, you can cut it to your desired length depending on your preference. I'm going to be cutting about 3, then I'll join it together. All right, as you can see, I'm just illustrating it. When we are sewing, I'll show you how I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. Now some persons marry together and join, but me, I just prefer placing it on top, running a stitch in front, then running a stitch at the back. That's what I prefer. So my subscribers, you rock. Thank you so much. If you're new in this channel, you're welcome. Kindly give us a thumbs up, okay? So now this is for the pockets area. I think I took 10 inches by 8 inches. It's going to be at the side after sewing your side seams, and I'm going to be adding an ashoke on top. You're going to see this in the sewing process. Now this is the sewing process. Like I told you, some persons flip it together and sew just like how you're sewing normal clothes, but I prefer joining my ashoke on top of each other. So do what works for you. Take note of the front and the back. All right, so I'll place it 0.5 inches, not necessarily 0.5, 0.4, 0.5 inches. I'll place it on it like so, then I'll run the stitch down. Okay, do it at your pace. So I'll run the stitch down. When I'm done, I will flip it to the back. As you can see, you see the back is open like this. I'll still run it down for it to be strong. So I'm done with that. I'm going to be taking the midpoint of this ashoke now, be folding it in order to aid me cut the neckline, or would I say the facing that I'm going to be using to turn the neckline. So I'll place it like so on it, and I will trace it out, or cut it out rather. Be sure to make the center front touch the mid of the ashoke, like so, the folded part of the ashoke. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. Do it at your pace. After which, I'm going to be opening the fabric. Now that one is not useful anymore, except you want to use it for a design or something else. All right, so as you can see, I have opened it up like this, but I'm going to be flipping it over because if you do it like this, the ashoke will come to the back, and you don't want the design of the ashoke to be at the back. Okay, so I'm going to be flipping the back of the ashoke, then the front of the ashoke will be facing the back. Then I'll go ahead and stitch the neckline. Like I said, the back of the fabric and the front of the ashoke, they will be facing each other. Then you go ahead and stitch, so that when you turn, the front of the ashoke will face the front of the fabric, if that makes sense to you. So I'll go ahead and notch this particular part so it will aid turning. Now you can put hemming gum there so that when you iron it sticks together. Okay, you can put hemming gum before stitching. Some persons stop stitch, but I do not. So now this is just depending on your preference. I just folded it in to give it, a different look. I went up by 3 inches, folded it in, pinned it, and this side is going to remain straight. But at the edges, I'm going to be taking 0.5 inch. I'll fold it in so that I can stitch down. Okay. So I'll go and run a stitch like so. You can see I secured with pins. Very important, please. Because if you do not, you'll find your work jumping. One place to be a bit higher than the other. So always pin, and always make sure your fabric is stretched before stitching. If it's rumpled, it's going to affect the overall outcome. I'm showing you all the process. Please, if you find this helpful, do not forget to give us your support by, liking, sharing, and commenting as well. Thank you. So when I'm done with this now, I'm going to be attaching the facing for the back. Okay. Now this is the front. The back is different. The back, you will use the front of your fabric, right sides facing each other, and the front of your facing, so that when you turn, the right side will face the wrong side, as you can see. Like I said, you can, use an hemming gum to stitch while attaching your facing. So when I'm done, I went ahead to serge the edge. Okay, I'll go and stitch it down like so. Now this is the back, and this is the front. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be placing the shoulders together, the front and back together, and I'll stitch. So I'm done doing that. The next thing I'm going to be doing now, sorry about that, I'm going to be hemming the sleeve. All right, I'll be folding it in. You can hem it by 1.5 inches. So I'll fold in again, and stitch. What I do for this, I'll do for the other side as well. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be shaping. Shaping in the sense I'm just taking 1 inch, please. You could take 1 inch, you could take half an inch, depending on your preference. I've gone ahead to serge it as well. Then I'll open it up like this in order to aid me fixing the pockets. Okay. Now you can fix it any position you like, but I am going to be coming down from my waist measurement by 9 inch. Okay. I'm going to be coming down from my waist measurement by 9 inch. So I just want to attach the ashoke to it. As you can see, I'll stitch it like so. Then I'll flip it over. After flipping it over, I am going to be top stitching. All right, I'll top stitch this other part. I'm just trying to arrange before top stitching. You can, okay, as you can see, then I'll be folding half an inch or 0.5 inch on both sides. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just serge it. Okay, I'm gonna have to serge the edges, then I'll fold 0.5 inch and I'll stitch round. Now what I do for this, I will replicate same process for the other pocket. Okay, so we are done with this. You can see how it is. Isn't it beautiful? So I'll do it for the next. And the next thing we're going to be doing now, we are just going to be hemming. And that's all. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Now this is the final outcome. Isn't it beautiful? See you in my next video. Bye.